and 18th century philosophers or political theorists. Okay, for them, rights means what kind of rights they believed, or what kind of rights they basically give importance. An idea? Tell me. 17th and 18th century historians, I mean political theorists.
Liberty, equality, and fraternity.
Of course, liberty, equality, and fraternity. Okay, so they give importance for such kind of rights there basically. Okay, okay, what kind of right? Right to life basically. Okay, right to liberty then. Okay, clear or not? Right to life, right to liberty. Okay, such kind of rights it is important. It seems there. Okay, but coming to the present day, okay, more than this kind of personal liberty. I mean, right to what you can say, life, liberty, and property. Okay, and today's historians, or sorry, today's politicians or political philosophers, they're giving more importance to human rights. Human rights. Clear? Yes or no? So, what is this importance of human rights? So we know that in the world, okay, there are different countries are there. Okay, but the attitude of each and every human towards another human is almost the same. Okay, so coming under this particular situation I'm speaking. Okay, clear or not? Okay, in the sense, everyone, we are expecting something from other individuals. Okay, we are expecting respect from others. We are expecting what we can say, a special care from others. Okay, the same time we wanted to provide these things to others also. Okay, so human rights are very important. Okay, so Immanuel Kant, the German philosopher Immanuel Kant, can anyone tell me what the idea of the rights or human rights for or by Immanuel Kant? An idea? Immanuel Kant, what is philosophy on human rights? Tell me.
Person must be given a minimum dignity, no
Of course.
whether he is poor, uneducated,
Of
or
course.
immoral.
Yeah. In as per the words of Immanuel Kant, we want to treat everyone almost equally. Okay, human rights are equal for everyone. Okay, the person is poor, is immoral, is a murderer, whoever he is, but a minimum dignity want to provide for each and every individual. It seems. Okay, that's what the words of Immanuel Kant. Immanuel Kant, a German philosopher. Okay, so that's what the idea of right speaks. Clear. So in the previous chapters, we studied about the idea of liberty, equality, and social justice, and social justice. And we want to understand one thing: without the rights, okay, basically we know that rights are not natural, right? Clear. Rights are not natural, or it is not created by the society as per the ideology of new political philosophers there. But 17th and 18th century philosophers, they give a perspective, or their idea is nothing but it is God's creation. It's a God's creation. It is created by the nature. I mean, natural rights. Natural rights. By birth, we are enjoying, or we born along with such rights. It seems clear. But today, that perspective or those ideas were changed, or it is changed there. Okay, now we are discussing that we are the creator of this kind of rights there. Okay, we want to respect each other. Okay, clear or not? Clear. And if we, what we expecting from others, it is our responsibility to provide that to other individual in the same society, in the same society. So modern philosophers or political philosophers are giving importance for human rights than any other rights, than any other rights. Okay, the next thing we know that governments, okay, governments want to understand, and government want to safeguard these rights by constitutional provisions. Clear? Government want to protect the rights, the responsibility of the government. So we know that in India, or almost all the countries, they have their own constitution. In those constitutions, bills are there, provisions are there to protect the rights of the people, protect the rights of the people. Yes or no? So what about in the Indian constitution? Which part guaranteeing the rights for Indian people? I mean, the citizens of India. Fundamental. An idea? Fundamental. Unmute and speak. What do you mean fundamental rights? How many are there? What are they? Tell me. Anyone? You studied those things in the junior classes. Okay. Come on fast. Who is able to speak about that?
Right to equality.
Okay.
Right to exploitation.
Right to exploitation. Right against
Right
exploitation, Veena.
against exploitation. And
Okay.
cultural and educational remedies.
Cultural and educational rights. Okay. Fine.
And right to religion. Right to follow any religion. Right to life.
Okay.
And
Hmm.
and right to equality and
Fine. Right to constitutional remedies. Okay. Right to constitutional remedies. So such kind of rights are the basically it is protected by the constitution. So constitution is safeguard or protecting our rights there. So government don't have that power to trespass or override the rights that provided by the constitution for each and every individual in society. Clear? Okay, that's what the things what we discussed earlier. Okay. Can you hear me? Hello? Hello? The voice is clear?
Yes, sir.
Fine. So go. We are going back to our textbook there. Just observe from the textbook. 1 minute. Here, while claims for human rights appeal to our moral self, the degree of success of such appeals depend on the number of factors, most important of which is the support of the government and the law. So we know that we want to enjoy these human rights, right? This is why so much importance is placed on the legal recognition of rights. So it is important. The Constitution wants to guarantee the rights. The Constitution is the protector of the rights of each and every individual in any country. Okay, so we are discussing about the Constitution and the provisions in the Constitution to protect the rights of the individual in any country. Okay, here a Bill of Rights is enshrined in the Constitution of many countries. Constitution represents the highest law of the land, and so constitutional recognition of certain rights gives them a primary importance. So we know that the Constitution is too important, right? And it's the highest law of any land. Okay, those have a constitution. Okay, for India, Indian constitution is considering it the highest law of the land. Okay, so it is important. The constitution wanted to protect the rights of the individuals, right? Of the individuals. So in almost all the constitution, we are able to find a bill of rights, rights there, basically that protecting different rights for the individuals or citizens in that particular country. Okay, in our country, we call them fundamental rights. Understand? So in India, this Bill of Rights is basically termed as the fundamental rights. Fundamental rights. Other laws and policies are supposed to respect the rights granted in the Constitution. Clear or not? So number of other rules and regulations also we are able to find in the Constitution. The same time, all such rules and regulations wanted to provide respect to this particular area in the Constitution, that is the fundamental rights. Clear? So that important our rights are. The rights mentioned in the Constitution would be those which are considered to be the basic importance. Okay, clear or not? So we know that it is difficult to lead a good life in the society without these rights. These rights. All these rights should be protected by the Constitution. Okay, should protect. Okay. In some cases, these may be supplemented by claims which gain importance because of the particular history and the custom of a country. In India, for instance, we have the provision to ban untouchability, which draws attention to the traditional social practice in the country. Okay, so we know that the culture of different countries is different. Okay, coming to our country called India, so time immemorial onwards, we followed a special social condition or social situation. Okay, this is termed as untouchability, caste-based discrimination in the country. All right, clear. So The constitution makers of our country, the people, those who drafted the constitution, they made provisions in the constitution to wipe away or abolish the problem of untouchability from our society. Clear? Clear. So it is protecting the rights of the each and every individual in the society, right to lead a good, dignified, and respectful life in the society. Clear? That's important, right? Clear or not? So untouchability is existing in the society still. Nobody is able to lead a dignified life or a respected life in society. Okay, so the constitution did it. What is that? Constitution wipe away the problem of untouchability from the society. Okay, so and protected the right to lead a good life in the society, right to life. Okay, so important is the legal and the constitutional recognition of our claims that several theories to define rights as claims that are recognized by the state. So the rights should be recognized by the government. Okay, our claims should be recognized by the government. If the government is not recognizing our rights or the government is not respecting the rights of the citizens, it is difficult to lead a good life with dignity and what we can say, a respected life in the society. The legal endorsement certainly gives our rights a special status in society, but it is not the basis on which the rights are claimed. As we discussed earlier, rights have steadily been expanded and reinterpreted to include previously excluded groups and to reflect our contemporary understanding of what it means to lead a life of dignity and respect. Okay, so just imagine. Still, the untouchability or caste-based discrimination is existing in our country. Just understand that. Just imagine that. So, are you able to think that all we people are able to lead a good life in the society or a dignified life in the society? Is that possible? Is that possible? No. Right or not? So, already we studied that related with the chapter equality. What we studied there? Equality. So, equality, if you are thinking we are not the part of the rich people, we are not the part of the elated class or privileged class, we come to know that, or we come to a conclusion that we will understand or we will accept all the rules and regulations that making by the government for the development of everyone in the society, right? Right? But if we are the part of the privileged class, we are the rich people, this thing, we will not give that much importance for such kind of provisions that made by the government, right? Yes or no? That's what the constitution doing here. To protect the rights of everyone, protect the rights of everyone, the government or the constitution created some bills or created some provisions in the constitution. Okay, clear? Or they made some arrangements. The constitution made some arrangement. What are those arrangements? First of all, deleting the problem of untouchability, deleting the problem of discrimination. Clear or not? So everyone is able to lead a good life in the society with the dignity, with the dignity. Clear? Clear or not? The ideas are clear. Fine. Moving forward. Okay. However, in most cases, the claimed rights are directed towards the state. That is through these groups, people make demands upon the state. When I asserted my right to education, I call upon the state to make a provision for my basic education. Society may also accept the importance of education and contribute to it on its own. Different groups may open schools and find scholarships. Fund scholarships so that children of all classes can get the benefit of the education, but the primary responsibility rests upon the state. It's the state that must initiate necessary steps to ensure that my right to education is fulfilled. Okay, so government is made provision, or the constitution made a number of provisions. First of all, what is that? It eliminated the problem of discrimination from the society. Okay, and giving importance for each and every religions or each and every cultural groups. Basically, they can start schools, they can provide or they can use money to improve the education of the kids in that particular group. Okay, but we cannot say that all the groups of the country is able to do something like that. Okay, only a rich groups can do that. So we know that in our state there are a number of institutions are there, right? Owned and managed by some religions, some caste groups. Okay, yes or no? Yes or no? Number of colleges are there, number of schools are there. Only this particular groups of people, religious groups, maybe caste groups, they own and operate such kind of institutions there. Okay, so the government giving chances for them, let them do, no problem. That is important to improve education in the country. Okay, but the main role is with the government only. The main role to provide education to everyone that rests in the shoulder of the government. It is a responsibility of the government. Clear? Understand? Rights are there. Rights is there. Basically, it's basically as the right to education. Right to education. So, government giving chances to each and every community or religions. Can you hear me? Hello?
Yes,
Any
sir.
lag in the voice? Hello? Any lag is there?
No.
Okay, fine. So that's it. That's it. So giving chances for any religion, every religion or every community to start so, or using funds or money to improve the education. At the same time, I want to understand one thing. What is that? The responsibility of the government to fulfill the right to education. Okay. So this rights place an obligation upon the state to act in certain kinds of ways. Each right indicates what the state must do as well as what it must not do. Okay, so constitution says to the government or the what we can say different governments. What the constitution says that the government want to do something for the development of the people or protecting the rights of the people. Same time, it will not interfere in some sphere or some areas of the freedom. Okay, for instance, so what this constitution says that it is a must and should government. Okay, should and must government want to interfere in some aspects to protect the rights there. Same time, in some areas, government intervention is not necessary. It's not needed. Okay, for example, my right of life obliges the state to make laws that protect me from injury by others. So, right to life, right? So, it is the responsibility of the government to protect me from injuries. Okay, by others, by others. So, police department is there. Okay, that is protecting our life and our property, right? That's what the main aim of the police department. Okay, controlled by the government, protecting our life and our property. Okay, so government doing that, so government protecting that, right? It calls upon the state to punish those who hurt me or harm me, right? You know that. Okay, so right to life. Okay, so the government is acting here. If anybody making trouble for our life, okay, or right to live. So government will interfere in that. Government will give punishment for the people those who made made a trouble. Okay, if a society feels that the right of to life, sorry, right to life means a right to good quality of life, it expects the state to pursue policies that provide for clean environment. Okay, so next one. Okay, related with the right to life, what is there? We need a clean environment to live. Clear? Okay, environment along with other conditions that may be necessary for a healthy life. In other words, my right here places certain obligations upon the state to act in a certain way. So the constitution says to the government want to act or want to take important steps or measures to uh, protect the right, I mean the right to life of the people. Clear or not? The responsibility of the government. Government want to interact, government want to interfere, government want to protect the people. Okay, so the constitution says government want to do this. At the same time, right not only indicate what the same must do, they also suggest what state must refrain from doing. So some restrictions also are there for the government. Okay, the constitution made some restrictions to the government. Okay, related with the rights of the people. Okay, in one side, the government can interfere. Other side, some restrictions are there for the government. What are they? My right to liberty as a person. Clear. Right to liberty as a person. No government should interfere in that. For instance, for example, suggests that the state cannot simply arrest me at its own will. Clear. So, what do you mean arresting? Arrest. If you're breaking the law or breaching the law, it's the responsibility of the government to, I mean, the police department to arrest. Okay, and keep the person in the jail or in the prison. Sorry, basically, police department don't have the power to give punishment, right or not? What is their power? They can arrest and proceed the culprit, okay, in front of the court, and it is the responsibility of the court to give the punishment after the fair trial, right? Yes or no? You know the court procedure. We studied already in class 8 and 9. Remembering that court procedure, not in ninth class, class 8, I think so. Okay, political science we studied about the court procedure, procedure. So it's basically timed as the fair trial, fair trial. After that, only the court can give punishment or a judgment or a verdict to verdict. Okay, before that, it should not do that. Clear? So just keep that in your mind. So without any reason, no government have the power to arrest any individual. It is against the personal liberty of that individual. Okay. Suggest that the state cannot simply arrest me at its own will if it wishes to put me behind the bar. Okay, what do you mean by the term? Put me behind the bar, put me in jail. That's what. Behind the bar, the iron bar. It must defend action. It must give reason for curtailing my liberty before a judicial court. Okay, so before arresting me, the department or the government want to show the reason. They have to say the reason. Clear? Understand? Only after that they can proceed. They can proceed and they can present me in front of the judicial court. This is why the police are required to produce an arrest warrant before taking me away. That's what. Maybe in movies you have observed this particular scene there. Police will come and arrest one culprit, and the culprit will ask that they have a warrant to arrest me. Yeah, observe that. Hmm? In movies, we are able to see such kind of scenes. So that's what the warrant. Okay, the police department want to show you did so and so or this kind of crime. So we are going to arrest you. So they have to show the reason. That's what an arrest warrant. My rights thus place certain constraints upon state action. So without this kind of activity, no government is able to arrest an individual. Okay, so that is the part of the personal liberty. Personal liberty, right? Is that clear? In the first case, related with education, government want to interfere. Related with the life, government want to interfere. It is a responsibility of the government to protect such kind of rights of the people. Okay, so government want to provide education. It's a right here, and government want to protect the life of the people. The right to life is a fundamental one. All right. Okay, and here the personal liberty. Here, government intervention is minimal. Okay, if government want to intervene or interfere, it want to show why they are interfering, why they are arresting us. Reason should be there. Without reason, they cannot do that. Okay. To put in another way, our rights ensure that the authority of the state is exercised without violating the sanctity of individual life and liberty. So no central government, central or state interfere the liberty of the people. Okay. The state may be the sovereign authority. We know that in different countries, the central government or the state is considering as the sovereign authority, the supreme authority of the country. The laws it makes may be enforced with force, but the sovereign state exists not for its own sake, but for the sake of the individual. Okay. So the sovereign government can create rules and regulations. Okay. But one thing is there, this government, I mean, sovereign government is not standing for the government, but for the individual. Clear? It is people who matter more, and it is their well-being that must be pursued by the government in power. So it is the responsibility of the government to protect the well-being of the people, to protect the interest of the people. The rulers are accountable for their actions and must not forget the law exists to ensure the good of the people, and the government and the rulers cannot do the rules to override the rights of the people, okay, or the liberty of the people. Okay, the rulers want to understand that they are accountable. The government is accountable and answerable to the people, answerable to the people. It's the responsibility of the government to answer the people. Clear? So they can make rules, they can create regulations, but it should for the development of the people or for the good of the people, good for the people. Clear? Is that idea clear? So in this area, we discussed two aspects. What are these two aspects? One is one is government can interfere in some cases to protect the rights of the people. Example, right to education, right to life. Okay, so government giving chances to different communities to start schools or using money to provide scholarships for the people from that particular category or that particular community. Clear. And the same time, at the same time, in some aspects, the government cannot interfere. Example, liberty. Example, liberty. So government want to arrest us. The government want to keep us in jail or behind the bar. Okay, before arresting, they want to show on what ground the government is or the police department is going to arrest us. What the crime, what we committed. They have to show it. They have to say it. Okay, so all the governments are sovereign governments, the powerful governments. They can create or they can make rules and regulations, but all the rules and regulations that made by the government is only for the well-being of the people or to protect or for the social good, right? The ideas are clear or not? Is all these ideas are clear? Okay, fine. Now we are moving to the next topic here, that is basically termed as different types of rights, kinds of rights. Here, most democracies today begin by drawing up a charter of political rights. Clear? Political rights. What do you mean by political right? Can anyone tell me any one political right? So mostly you will people will speak only one political right. What is that? What is that?
Right to vote.
Right to vote. That's a political rights. Okay. Not only right to vote, there are number of other political rights also are there. We will discuss that. We'll discuss that now. Okay. Number of other political rights also are there. What are they? Okay. So political rights give to the citizens the right to equality before law. Okay. Not only the right to vote, but here the right to equality before the law. Equality before the law. It's a part of the political right. Okay. And the right to participate in the political process. The people, they are or they can participate in the political activity or political process of the country, like election, contest in elections, okay, or voting rights. That was the part of the political right, right? They include such rights as the right to vote and elect representatives, the right to contest election, the right to form political parties or join them. So political rights are supplemented by civil liberties. Political rights are supplemented by civil liberty, individual or freedom of individuals. Okay, the latter refers to the right to free and fair trial, that right to express one's views freely, the right to protest and express dissent. Okay, so if you are not like any particular rules that made by the government, okay, we can protest against that collectively. Civil liberties and political rights from the basis of the democratic system of government. Underline. But as was mentioned before, rights aim to protect the well-being of the individual. Political rights contributed to it by making the government accountable to the people. Okay, so political right is basically making the government accountable to the people, by giving greater importance to the concerns of the individual over that of the rulers, and by ensuring that all persons have an opportunity to influence the decision of the government. Clear? Okay, so these are different rights basically. Okay, so political right is a supplementary of civil liberties. Okay, as per the political right, we know that all are equal before the law. All are equal before the law. Equality is existing. Okay, so we are able to participate in the political process, like participating in election as a candidate. I mean, contesting in elections. Next one, right to vote. Okay, joining in any political party or creating our own political party. That's all part of the political right. Part of the political right. Clear. At the same time, if the government rules and regulations are not good, we are able to protest against the government also as a part of the political rights. So here you can see here, the last statement says here, political rights contributed to it by making the government accountable to the people. Okay, so the political rights making the government accountable to the people. If there is no political rights are there, government will not answer to the question of the people. So it's a political right. We are able to participate in the decision making of the governments. Clear? Okay. However, our rights of political participation can only be exercised fully when our basic needs of food, shelter, clothing, health are met. When we will participate in the political activity, first of all, we always struggle or find these basic needs like food, shelter, clothing, health. Okay, then only we will think about the political condition of the country, or we want to participate in the political process or not. For a person living on a pavement and struggling to meet those basic needs, political rights by themselves have a little value. So just imagine a person, a homeless man, he is living on the pavement, on the pavements. Okay, clear, street side. He's, what is your answer? He is aware about the political changes in the country. He's aware about the political party. Huh? There is a little scope for such kind of things, for such kind of people there. Basically, they're not met the basic necessities for life. Okay, clear. So we will discuss all these things in the next class. Okay, everyone. Thank you very much. Please read. Okay, at the same time, complete the assignments also. Okay, we'll meet in the next class. Thank you very much. Up to here, read and understand properly. Okay, kinds of rights, the first paragraph. Thank you.